Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. This is such a fire view right here. I don't really feel like getting the drone out. Maybe another day. But also I just noticed this could be a potential road. I mean, it is big enough for a car to go through, so maybe not. But you could kind of get your bike. Oh my god, there's a bug. You could kind of get your bike like around here and then go through from there, maybe. But yeah. So this video I just wanted to kind of make it about like high-end speed and why you should avoid doing that, especially on bikes like a 300, 400, 250, maybe even the 500 too, because for this bike I top out at 115 miles per hour, and if you were going that fast on like a surface road, it's just not smart, because sometimes you have to understand that even if your bike can handle a certain speed, that doesn't necessarily mean you can slow down that fast. I guess this also kind of goes for cars, but it is easier to stop a car compared to a bike. And especially on the 300, I only have one like brake pad. Like, it's not double like some of the bigger bikes that I've seen. So you kind of have to understand that and like incorporate that. So like if you are going like 70 to 80 and like in like a light, like an area with like signals and stuff, for the most part you'll be fine. But you have to consider the fact when it turns yellow and you have to emergency stop, right? And especially if you don't know techniques, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but if you don't know how to like downshift and rev match and like do that while braking, it's gonna take you a lot longer to slow down. And the other thing you never want to do when you're trying to slow down like fast, or even just in general, is like just holding the clutch. If you pull in the clutch and the brake to try to slow down, that's actually going to take you longer, because you're deactivating the engine, so the engine isn't braking. So it's going to take you longer, right? So the only time you want to kind of get into it is when you're like almost at the slow speed, like you're like at 20 miles an hour ish, and then you're like slowing down, right? Getting into like the lower end. It might differ based on your bike, but generally like in the lower end of your first gear, you want to kind of just, then you can hold in the clutch as you're almost stopped, so the engine doesn't like die, obviously. But yeah, I kind of want to make this because I feel like maybe, especially for newer riders, it might be like something that they might encounter where they're just going super fast and they forget the fact that they have to slow down. Because sometimes on a bike your speed doesn't... Is that a plane? It looked like a drone for a second, but it's a plane. But yeah, for sometimes on your bike the speeds doesn't necessarily feel real. If you're going 90, it doesn't necessarily feel like 90. Okay, so maybe if I was in this neighborhood, I would have to consider... Hold on. I'm gonna try to get the flight radar up real quick. Wow, that looks pretty low. Where is this plane? Is that it? Okay, it's at 1,250 feet. Pretty sure. So that's pretty low. Let me just double check that was the one. Yeah, that was the one. There's an airport somewhere down there. So I guess as long as you're under 400, maybe helicopters might be the biggest threat. But yeah. I was talking about drone, by the way, in case you didn't watch the Saga channel or anything. I have a drone. But yeah. So that's pretty interesting. I thought there was a sidewalk on this road, but it's all just stuff. So I kind of came to the end. Hopefully none of the houses get upset, because I mean I don't think I look that scary or sketch, but I mean if I was in like one of these houses, I might get sketched out just seeing like some random bike here, because especially at the very end. But I don't think that they technically own the cul-de-sac, and I'm not doing anything obviously, but yeah, probably gonna be gone in like 5 minutes. I'm just filming this video real quick and I'm dipping. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm probably just gonna get gas and then I'm gonna go home. I could bring out the drone, but I also don't want to. I don't really have a spot to bring it out, and also this is somebody's like neighborhood and like stuff, so don't want to just like intrude on that and just fly it from here. But yeah, but it's a really nice neighborhood. Like, it's pretty inspirational. Just a very clean, especially that pond. It's like super insane. But yeah, going back to the point of the video. So the main thing I was trying to cover was, like, if you're at like a certain higher end speed, you kind of just want to go to a certain point, like where you know you're comfortable and able to slow down. Because if you kind of push it too far, and let's say your bike tops out like 140, if you're going like 140 or like 130 or like 120 on like a surface road with like signals and stuff, you have to practice being able to slow down. That's kind of something I did in the beginning. So like if I ever got into a situation like that, I would at least have like some preparation in a sense. Because a lot of people, they just like top out the bike or like learn how to go fast really quick, but they don't learn how to do the opposite, which is learn how to go slow really quick, right? So like the same from like 0 to 60, you also want to be able to go from 60 to 0. And so that's when it kind of gets you, and you have to like be smart about it. Is everybody always talks about like 0 to 60 times and stuff, but nobody really talks about like 60 to 0, other than like some videos I've seen online. I like the drag strip or something like that, right? But it's honestly even more important than being able to speed up. Everybody can speed up, for the most part, right? As long as you're not like on a 1,000 horsepower Hayabusa or something like that. But for the most part, it's not hard, especially on a lower end bike. Like, you're not gonna wheelie or anything like that, so there's nothing to control in that aspect. But the main thing is you want to be able to slow down. And there's also other techniques you can learn, like trail braking and stuff like that, right? And also like progressively braking. You never want to fully like slam on the brakes. You don't want to just go like yank and like do that, unless it's a super emergency, and where it's like the point where you'd rather lay the bike down instead of like crashing, right? Because sometimes that actually might be the play. Like, instead of crashing into a car, if you like kind of low side the bike, that might actually be safer. So maybe in that case, or if you're trying to do a stoppie and like aggressively stop and you can handle it, like Brian 66, or stuff like that, right? But for the most part, you want to kind of give it a little bit of pressure, and then you can kind of give it more. Same with the rear, kind of called like progressive braking, I think. And yeah, and also being able to learn how to smoothly downshift and like kind of rev match at the same time as you're braking. And yeah, and then also clutch work as well. It all comes into play to try to stop your bike as smooth as possible. And especially if you're doing like stupid stuff on your bike, like burnouts or like something that kind of wears the tires unevenly, or your tires are just bald, you definitely don't want to be riding on that. Like, if you don't have the money to get the tires changed, I honestly would just recommend not riding your bike, or try to get some extra money to change those tires, because it's very important. And obviously you want to ride, but you got to think about it. Like, if you crash, now you're not gonna have a bike. It might even be totaled. Best case, maybe it's some minor damages that you can fix, but worst case, like, right, you might not have a bike. That's gonna obviously take longer than if you just waited with a perfect bike, other than like maybe tires, right? But yeah, that's kind of what you have to think about, and that comes into play a little bit. But yeah, that's really it, to be honest. Just kind of learn your techniques and stuff like that, and just kind of get advanced with your stuff. And I was also thinking about something, like, if I could somehow get like the controller here, my drone controller, I could somehow maybe fly it myself. Maybe not, actually, because it's kind of two-handed, and I also have to control the bike. I mean, I think maybe at that point I might as well would have to just wait to get like a super expensive one that has like the active track features and stuff. But yeah, it's just important. Learn your stuff. I haven't been to a track day, but I really do want to go once I get some more money. But yeah, those are important. It can teach you a lot of skills, even if you're not trying to race or anything. Track days can teach you a lot of skills. Same with like the MSF course. Obviously, it's not as like high not as advanced as stuff. And the MSF, like, it's all right. I've taken it. I don't really think it covers everything important. It kind of just gives you like enough to where you're like, you have like a false confidence of like riding, and then gives you just like the boost that you needed to kind of get on the road, which actually might do more harm than good in a way. But I don't know. I mean, I've definitely helped a little bit, right? Like, I didn't know some stuff, but yeah. All right, that's pretty much it. I kind of just wanted to cover like that weird topic. Like I said, this channel's more of like niche subjects, of like fast life stuff. Obviously, this is a 300, so I don't know why I'm saying fast life, but 115 is still enough to get you killed, so that's why I say it like that. But yeah, that's about it. So like the main part, I'll go over like 100 is on like highways or like long stretches of road, with limited intersections or places where cars could pull out or turn in front of you. And if I am doing it in a spot like that, I mean, I wouldn't do it in an intersection, but maybe if it's like a road where the people can just pull out, I'd only do it if there's like other cars, because there's more of a chance. So I heard a chopper. There's more of a chance of them seeing the car, and you kind of have like if you're pacing yourself next to a car, it's a little bit more safer and less risky than if you're just going it solo, right? But sometimes cars don't even see other cars, so you can't just like fully rely on that either. But yeah, just being smart about stuff. But yeah, like the only time I top this bike out, for the most part, is like 20 miles from home. There's just like a nice road that I can, like, for the most part, if there's like low traffic, or if it's like good time of day, it's pretty safe to do so too, because it's just an open road and I can see like down the road. That's like the best road that you can speed on, is when you can see the whole down the road part of it, because if somebody's there, you can see them like a mile away, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Again, I want to shout out Brad for being a member and donating the $50 the other, I think it was other week. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I also filmed a drone test, 1500 meter range test on my DJI Mini 4K on my other channel. Filmed it like right before this, so it's probably going to be uploaded like maybe like the next week or something, because I do have a couple other videos that I need to upload. They're all edited, but I just need to upload them. But yeah, pretty much just making them public. That's literally it. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, all right, peace.